What's up, guys? I hope you're all doing well, and thank you for clicking onto this video. This is another video where I'll just be having pictures and some video clips behind my voice. So yeah, in this video I will be ranking the Spider-Man movies, including Spider-Man Far From Home. So we have 8 Spider-Man films that I'm going to be ranking. I'll just be, talking about them very briefly, giving you my brief thoughts on them, but yeah, giving you my overall ranking. And guys, before I start this ranking, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to do that because I'll be posting my top 23 films in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That video is probably going to be going up on Friday, I would guess. Yeah, I'd probably say that video is going to go up on Friday. So definitely check that out. I rank every movie in the MCU, including Spider-Man Far From Home. So like I said, definitely hit the subscribe button and check that out when it goes up. So let's talk about the Spider-Man movies. And starting at number 8, we have The Amazing Spider-Man 2. This movie to me was just all over the place. It was a mess. It didn't know what it wanted to be. It didn't know what story to focus on. Some of it was very laughable. The climax of the movie was just a joke. Everything about it. The movie was it was just a setup film for what was to come, which never came because of how much of a mess it really was. And they realized that they had to fix the problem. And they eventually did. So yeah, that's number 8. Number 7 for me is The Amazing Spider-Man. I just think this movie is kind of bland. I think it's kind of uninteresting. I think it's kind of, I wouldn't say dull, but I don't know. It's nothing that we haven't seen before, really. I do like Andrew Garfield as Peter Parker Spider-Man, but really when you think about it, the movie was marketed to us as the untold story, when really we just got the same story told in the original Sam Raimi film. Uncle Ben's death, everything that happens with that. Instead of Mary Jane Watson, we have Gwen Stacy. Instead of the Green Goblin, we have the Lizard. It's very similar. It's just not done as well, I think. So moving on to number 6, we have Spider-Man 3, which I actually just posted my review for that film up on this channel now. Spider-Man 3, I think, like I said in my review, if you watch that, you'll get my full thoughts on the movie. But I do think the movie does have a beating heart, and it does have a beating soul within the jumbled mess. Somewhere, there is a heart, and I could see that Sam Raimi, what he was trying to do, but it was a little jumbled. There's a lot going on, but it does still have great moments. I feel like there's still enough in the movie to make it number 6. Number 5, don't shoot me, it's Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. This movie didn't work as well for me as it worked for a lot of people. I do like the film, obviously, it's why it's number 5. I just don't love the movie. I think some of the animation style is good, but I think it gets a little too, the animation gets a little too extreme, especially towards the end of the film. For me personally, I didn't really care for all of the other side Spider-Man characters. Some of them I cared for, some of them I really didn't. Also, I don't really care for what they did with Aunt May in the movie. So that's just me. So that's why that's at number 5. But it is a fun time. I do like the Miles Morales story overall. So moving on to number 4, we have Spider-Man. It's the 2002 original Tobey Maguire, Sam Raimi film. There's a lot of cheese in this movie, but I did grow up with it. I grew up with this movie, and after rewatching it to do my Quickie Wednesday review, it's just such a fun time, and the origin story for Peter Parker, and Tobey Maguire nails the character. It's really well done. Norman Osborn, Willem Dafoe is fantastic in the movie. Even though he does kind of, get a little over the top and cheesy at points, he is a very serviceable villain. And Spider-Man 1, it's very brutal. I love the final battle between the Green Goblin and Spider-Man, where the Goblin is just beating Spider-Man to a pulp. I love the brutality to it, and I love Spider-Man, and that's why it's number 4. Number 3 for me is Spider-Man Far From Home. It's the new release, and I do think this is such a fun, entertaining film, and this movie doesn't just expand upon Avengers Endgame, it also expands upon Spider-Man Homecoming, and it's great. I love Jake Gyllenhaal in the movie. I love Peter Parker in the movie. I mean, obviously, there's certain things in the movie that didn't work for me. If you want to check out my non-spoiler review, you can do so. I will be posting a spoiler review for this probably on Sunday, so you can check that out for my in-depth thoughts on the movie, my spoilery thoughts. But Spider-Man Far From Home, it is another great Spider-Man movie, and that's why it's number 3. Number 2 for me is Spider-Man Homecoming. I actually do like this movie more than Far From Home. I think Spider-Man Homecoming is so well done, and it's so fun, the John Hughes vibes to it. I love, you know, Tom Holland as Peter Parker. I think he's fantastic. He's great as Spider-Man. We have Tony Stark in here being the mentor to Peter Parker. It all just really works for me, and I think Michael Keaton is one of the best MCU villains we've ever had. So I love, you know, the scene when Peter Parker goes to take his the girl to the date, to the prom, and he opens the door, and who's answering the door but Michael Keaton. You know, it was so well done. It was so fantastic. And that's why Homecoming is number 2. And number 1 for me is Spider-Man 2. This is one of the best superhero movies of all time for me. I think this movie is so well done, and it's so layered. You know, and it's also, you know, the action is also brutal. It's also very practical. It looks real. It still feels real. It was released 15 years ago, and the movie still looks real, still feels real. Alfred Molina is a phenomenal villain as Doc Ock. I think he's great. He's one of my favorite superhero movie villains, one of my favorite movie villains of all time. He's great. Tobey Maguire shines in this movie, what he has to do. James Franco is Harry Osborn. His character also starts to evolve, and we sort of see what's going to come to play. And this movie was it was a phenomenal standalone film. It didn't feel like it had a setup for anything, which I don't mind, you know, but it's also nice to watch a movie that's just telling its story from beginning to middle to end. I think Spider-Man 2 is one of the best superhero movies ever made. Tobey Maguire Spider-Man is just the best for me all around. So guys, don't forget to comment. Also, like I said before, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for my rankings for the MCU movies, which is going to be up in just a few days, so you can check that out. I'll also be doing a review for Stranger Things Season 3, which is either going to be up on Friday or Saturday. Also, tomorrow I'll be posting my review for Midsommar. You can check that out. And yeah, guys, you can follow me on Facebook and Twitter. The links to those are in the description of this video, and you can also follow me on Instagram at KingOfRises131. And guys, that's been it. Thank you very much for watching my rankings for all 8 Spider-Man movies. And until next time, over and out.